My world is my hands. As a sign language interpreter for the courts, my hands aren't just for gesturing, they are a direct conduit for justice. They have to be fast, precise, and emotionally neutral. I translate trauma, I translate rage, I translate dry, boring legal arguments. And at the end of the day, I go home to my silent apartment, wash my hands, and put them away. It's a high-stakes, high-stress job that requires absolute control. So when I started to lose that control, I panicked. It wasn't a big thing at first. A tremor. A finger that wouldn't uncramp after a long session. Then, during a heavy cross-examination, my left hand just seized. It locked into a painful, claw-like cramp. It was terrifying. My doctor called it focal dystonia, a repetitive strain injury from hell, basically. It's neurological, she said. Your brain's wires are crossed. You need to rest, and you need specialized physical therapy. I'm sending you to Noah. Noah's clinic was just one room, tucked away in an old, quiet building. It didn't smell like a gym. It smelled like sandalwood and old books. And Noah himself was calm, dangerously calm. He was maybe in his late 30s, with a quiet, patient presence that felt like a physical weight. He didn't wear a white coat. He wore a simple t-shirt and jeans. He looked more like a philosophy professor than a therapist. "You're Caleb," he said, his voice low and steady. He didn't offer to shake my hand. I was grateful. "Yeah. Look, I have a very important trial in 3 weeks. I just need you to, fix this. Give me the stretches." He just nodded, his dark eyes observant. He watched me as I talked, my right hand already gesturing, punctuating my words with anxious, sharp movements. "Okay," he said. "First, I need you to stop talking." "What?" "With your hands," he clarified, a tiny, almost imperceptible smile. "Sit on them." I felt my face flush. "I don't." "Please. For 1 minute. Just sit. And be in the room." I did. It was agony. Sitting on my hands felt like being gagged. "You live up here," he said, lightly tapping his own temple. "Your hands are just taking the orders. But the orders are panicked. Your brain is yelling at them, and they're finally yelling back. My job isn't to fix your hands. It's to get them to trust you again." His therapy was bizarre. It was maddening. There were no machines, no heavy weights. He'd have me dip my hands in warm paraffin wax. He'd have me try to pick up grains of rice, one by one. And he'd make me do mirror therapy, where I'd hide my cramping left hand in a box and move my healthy right hand, forcing my brain to see a normal movement. But the worst part was the massage. He'd have me sit at a table, and he would just work on my forearms. His touch was incredibly precise. He wasn't just rubbing, he was finding individual, wire-tight tendons. "You're guarding," he'd murmur, his voice a low rumble, as my whole arm tensed up under his touch. "It hurts," I'd hiss through my teeth. "I know. But you're not just guarding against the pain. You're guarding against me. You're not in control right now, and it's freaking you out." He was right. I hated it. I hated this quiet, observant man who could read me like a legal brief. I was used to being the one in control, the one who dictated the narrative. Here, I was just a pair of broken hands. We were making no progress. My hand was getting worse. The cramps were more frequent. The trial was only a week away. I came in on a Thursday, my anxiety a physical, vibrating thing. I was going to be replaced. I was going to lose my career. "It's not working," I said, my voice sharp as I walked in. "This is a waste of time. I need something more aggressive. Cortisone. Something." Noah just looked at me with those same patient, infuriating eyes. "Sit down, Caleb." "No. I don't want to pick up rice. I don't want to play in a sandbox. I need you to fix me." He handed me a small, gray, putty-like ball. "I need you to squeeze this." I took it. I squeezed. Halfway through, my hand seized. The cramp was so sudden and so violent that the putty just shot out of my grip. It hit the far wall with a pathetic, dull thwack and fell to the floor. And I just broke. All the control, all the precision, all the professional neutrality I had built my entire life on, it just shattered. "I can't," I yelled, my voice echoing in the quiet room. "It's gone. It's over. Don't you get it? This is my life. My voice. And it's gone." I was breathing hard, my whole body shaking, my good hand clenched into a fist at my side. I had just yelled. In his quiet, zen-like, stupidly calm office, I had thrown a fit like a toddler. I braced for him to tell me the session was over. To tell me to leave. Noah didn't move. He just stood there, his hands in his pockets, and watched me. He let the echo of my shout fade. He let the silence settle back in, heavy and absolute. Then he calmly walked over, bent down, and picked up the putty. He didn't even look at it. He just walked back and stood in front of me. "Good," he said, his voice as quiet as ever. I stared at him, my breathing ragged. "Good. I just threw it at your wall." "Yes. It was the first honest thing you've done since you walked in here 3 weeks ago." He wasn't angry. He was just stating a fact. "You're not mad at your hand, Caleb. You're terrified. You're grieving. And you're trying to litigate your way out of it. But this isn't a courtroom. You can't file a motion against your own nervous system." He put the putty down on the table. "You want to fix this?" he asked, his voice low and intense. "Stop trying to control it, and start listening to it." I just stared at him, the adrenaline draining out of me, leaving me exhausted and completely exposed. He had seen right through me. He'd seen the terror I'd been hiding under layers of anger and impatience. I collapsed into the chair, my head in my one good hand. "I don't know how," I whispered. He pulled up a stool and sat across from me, not as a therapist, but as a person. "You start by breathing. You start by admitting it's not fine. You start by being here." He reached out, not for my hand, but for my arm. He placed his hand on my forearm, a simple, steady, grounding touch. "I was a potter," he said, his voice quiet. I looked up, confused. "What? A potter?" "Years ago. My hands were my whole life. I spent all day at the wheel. And then I got in a stupid bike accident. Nerve damage in my right arm. Couldn't center the clay anymore. Couldn't even hold it. My career was over. Just like that." I just looked at him, at his strong, capable hands. "I was you," he said. "I was angry. I was terrified. I was a complete bastard to everyone who tried to help me, because I thought my life was over." "What changed?" I asked. I finally shut up. I stopped trying to be what I was, and I just sat with what I was. And this guy, this old, cranky therapist, he taught me how to feel again, how to remap my own brain. It was the hardest work I've ever done, and it gave me my life back. Just a different one, a better one. He squeezed my arm, a brief, firm pressure. "You're not broken, Caleb. You're just rewiring. And it's loud, and it's messy, and it's scary. But you're not doing it alone." That was the moment. He hadn't just seen my panic. He'd shown me his. He'd made me feel like I wasn't a freak or a failure. I was just human. After that, the work really started. It was still slow. It was still painful. But I wasn't fighting him anymore. I was trusting him. He'd work on my arm, and I'd just focus on my breathing. I'd focus on his touch. His hands were so sure, so knowledgeable. I started to look forward to it. I started to look forward to him. The trial got postponed, a gift from the universe. I had more time. I kept going to therapy, long after my insurance would probably have cut me off. We were working on my hand, but we were also just talking. About his pottery. About my cases. About everything and nothing. One evening, I was his last appointment. He had just finished a deep, intense session on my forearm, and my hand, for the first time in months, was completely, totally relaxed. It was lying on the table, palm up, and it wasn't a claw. It was just a hand. I looked at it, and then I looked at him. He was washing his hands at his small sink, his back to me. "Thank you," I said. My voice was rough. "You did the work, Caleb," he said, drying his hands. "No," I said. "I didn't. Not until you know. Threw your putty at my wall," he said, a small smile in his voice. He turned around, leaning against the sink, his arms crossed. "Yeah, that." I stood up. I owe you for the wall. And for everything. Can I buy you dinner? As a thank you?" His smile faded, replaced by that same, intense, observant look from our first day. "Is that what this is? A thank you?" I took a breath. My hands, both of them, were steady. "No. I really want to have dinner with you. I like the way you think. And I like the way you listen. And I want to know you, outside of this room." He was quiet for a long time. Then he nodded, a slow, deliberate movement. "Okay," he said. "I'd like that too."